Dear students, I am Palash Biswas. Welcome to my class. Today I will teach you a grammatical topic. Write forms of verbs. And this question will be set in number 5 in your question paper. There will be 10 gaps is containing 5 marks. That is, this topic is of 5 marks. Do you understand this? I am just repeating this. There will be 10 gaps. There will be passages and containing 10 gaps. And each gap containing 0.5 marks and the total mark is 5. You must have understood this thing. Now I am going to tell what does a verb mean. A verb is a word used to describe the state or action, and it is the main part of the predicate. Do you understand this? So, what does a verb? Verb is an action word. That means to do something. To do something. Now, we will learn how many forms a verb may have. Suppose I am giving you some examples. Do, finish, play, run, go. The students have given you 5 examples of verbs. So the question is, how many forms a verb may have? A verb may have 5 forms. What are the 5 forms? Base form, S or ES form, past form, past participle form, and ing form. So a verb may have 5 forms, that is base form, S or ES forms, past form, past participle form, and ing form. Suppose I have taken these 5 verbs as for example, do, does, did, done, doing, finish, finished, 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 finishes, finished, and finishing, play, played, plays, played, played, playing. Now run, runs, ran, run, running, go, goes, went, gone, going. So you must understand that a verb may have 5 forms, that is the base form, S or ES form, past participle form, and ing form. In the question, there will be 10 gaps and the verb will be given in the bracket. Suppose I have, do, it. Example. this is the verb word. The verb word will be in the bracket, and you have to fill up the gap using this verb. That is, you must have understood which form of that 5 forms will be used in this gap. Base form or S, yes or S form, past form, past participle form, or ing form. That is, this do may be turned into does or did or done or doing. The probable forms of probable answers are like that: does, did, done, doing. Any of this form may be used in this gap, but you have to follow some rules in order to answer this question. Do you understand this? This is the question and this is the verb. You have to fill up this gap using this verb. Whenever you are just going to complete or answer this question, you must have to keep in mind that which forms may be used here: does, did, done, and doing. Do you understand this? Okay, thank you. I am going to explain the next thing. Suppose I have taken this word do, does, did, done, and doing. I'm going to explain which forms will be used. Whenever this base form, this is called the base form. Whenever you are going to use this base form, you have to understand in which types of sentences or tenses you have to use this base form. Suppose base form is basically used present indefinite tense, or future indefinite. Does is only used for in the time of present indefinite tense. Did is used only for past indefinite. Done is used for present perfect, past perfect, future perfect, and or passive sentences. And doing is used for present continuous, past continuous, present perfect continuous, past continuous, past perfect continuous, future continuous, future perfect continuous. So you must have understood this. Whenever you are just going to answer this question or fill up this gap, you have to keep in mind that these 5 forms, any of these 5 forms may be used whenever you are just going to use this form. Base form or S or ES form, if the sentence is of present indefinite tense or future indefinite tense, you may use do or does. That means base form or S or ES form. If the sentence give the any kind of indications of being a past indefinite tense, then you have to use the past indefinite form. That means past form, sorry. If the sentence is a sentence of past indefinite tense, then you have to use the past form of the verb. If the sentence is present perfect, past perfect, future perfect, or any kind of passive sentences, if the sentence is a passive sentence, then you have to use the past perfect form of the verb. And if the sentence is present continuous, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, future continuous, future perfect continuous, then you have to use the form of ing form of the verb. Do you understand this? So you have to keep in mind another thing, that if you use this form, base form or S or ES form, you don't need to use any kind of auxiliary verbs. If you are going to use the past form of the verb, you don't need to use any kind of auxiliaries. But whenever you are just going to use the past participle form of the verb and the ing form of the verb, you have to understand, or you have to keep in mind, you have to remember that you have to use any kind of auxiliary verbs that is really correct or right. And we will learn how to use the auxiliaries and which types of auxiliaries will be used in the next classes. So base form, S or ES form, and past form. In the time of using these 3 types of verbs or forms of verbs, you don't need to use any kind of auxiliaries. But whenever you're just going to use past participle and ing form, you have to use auxiliaries, must. So what we have learned, I'm just going to repeat. A verb may have 5 forms, that is base form, S or ES form, past participle, and ing form. Okay, you must have understood this. And next I am going to explain the very rules of right forms of verbs. All I have explained here, that was the basic things of learning right forms of verbs. Now I am going to explain the rules. Dear students, there are several rules, many rules of right forms of verbs, and that is really not so important to learn all the grammatical rules, but the basic thing is to understand the sentence. If you don't understand the sentence, you must not be able to fill up the gaps correctly. So you should have knowledges about topics. If you have the topic and knowledge, you will easily understand the topic and you will be able to fill up the gaps. That means I want to say that only grammatical rules is not really so is not enough to get full marks in right forms of verbs. You should have some topical knowledges, vocabularies, and the uses. You must have to understand the topic, what is the topic is going to say. So dear students, I have already discussed the verb, the question pattern, and the basic things of answering the question number 5. In the next class, I will explain the rules